The late summer sun dipped low, casting amber shadows across my sprawling ranch in the quiet hills of Pine Hollow, Oregon. At 45, Ethan Caldwell, had fought for this sanctuary, a rugged slice of freedom earned through 2 decades of grit and sacrifice. This land, tucked just beyond the reach of the Crestwood Homeowners Association, was my refuge from a chaotic past, its independence etched in county records. On that fateful Saturday in August 2024, as I roamed my forest, the scent of cedar and damp earth steadying my soul, I froze. A sickly sheen of oil snaked through the trees, each trunk a gaping wound, sap bleeding like tears. No tire tracks, no saw marks, just an eerie silence, as if the crime had been erased. My forest, a lifelong dream, lay ravaged, a graveyard of shattered giants. I'd come here to escape trouble, but trouble had hunted me down. Across the road, Laura Bennett, the 40-year-old HOA president, had no clue who she'd crossed. That evening, I knocked on her door, my fury tempered by years of discipline as a federal environmental investigator. Laura answered, her smile syrupy, her polished charm a thin veil over her control. "You must be the new guy," she cooed, hands clasped. "I figured you'd appreciate us tidying up that overgrown mess. It was tanking our property values." Her condescension stung, but I kept my tone even. "Who gave you permission to cut my trees? That's private land." Her smile twitched, then hardened. "In our community, we make sacrifices for the greater good. Those trees were an eyesore." She shoved a smudged, barely legible document at MEVIG rules, blurred signatures. "Our charter gives me authority over anything affecting aesthetics." I pressed, "Show me the votes, the proper process." She laughed, sharp and dismissive. "Mr. Caldwell, I've run this place for 5 years. I know what's best. Newcomers need to learn their place." Her patronizing tone landed like a slap. "Accept it, Ethan. Fighting this makes life harder for everyone." 3 days later, a letter arrived on HOA letterhead, Laura's signature a bold flourish. It accused me of planning unauthorized plantings and displaying an uncooperative attitude, demanding I halt all landscaping and attend compliance counseling. That afternoon, my neighbor Sam caught me at the mailbox, his voice hushed. "Laura's spreading word you're a troublemaker. Try to turn this place into a wilderness. Folks are buying it." He glanced around nervously. "Most just nod along. She's intimidating." I thanked him, my instincts honed from 20 years sniffing out corruption, screaming that Laura's power was a house of cards. A week later, a certified letter slapped me with a $3,000 bill for landscape remediation and aesthetic violation penalties, citing debris removal and admin fees. My phone rang within the hour. "Mr. Caldwell, I trust you got our invoice," Laura said, her voice icy. "Your trees made a mess, and residents pay for violations." I gripped the receiver. "I didn't authorize any cutting. This is illegal." Her laugh was a blade. "Living here means following rules. Pay or face legal action. You're free to leave if you don't like it." Her threat lit a fuse in me. Then Laura escalated. That evening, she rallied a dozen HOA loyalists outside my property, pointing at the stumps and decrying my defiance. "This man thinks he's above our community," she shouted, her voice echoing. Sam, caught in the crowd, looked uneasy but stayed quiet. I stepped out, calm but firm. "Laura, my land isn't in your HOA. Stop this." She smirked, plain to her audience. "See? He refuses to cooperate, threatening our property values." A few nodded, swayed by her theatrics, but others shifted, sensing her overreach. I recorded it all, knowing her performance would be her undoing. My home office became a war room. County surveys and the real HOA charter confirmed my land was beyond Laura's grasp. Of the felled trees, 40% were protected native species. Their destruction violating state environmental laws penalties could hit $90,000, with criminal charges looming. Digging deeper, I uncovered whispers of a $60 million luxury resort plan by Apex Development Group, targeting land beyond my forest. My property was the critical access point. Laura wasn't just a petty tyrant. She was a hired gun clearing the way for profit. 2 weeks later, Laura called an emergency HOA meeting to address the Ethan Caldwell crisis, claiming my defiance threatened community harmony. The Pine Hollow Community Center buzzed with 50 residents, chairs arranged like a tribunal, Laura at a podium radiating authority. "Mr. Caldwell scorns our democratic process," she declared, gesturing at me in the back. "He threatens lawsuits, mocks our rules, and disrupts our peace." She waved a folder of evidence, her doctored charter, fine notices, and a claim I planned a wilderness preserve. Murmurs rippled. Some nodded, hooked by her narrative. "This is your chance, Ethan," she said, eyes glinting. "Apologize, pay the fines, and agree to no trees over 6 feet, or we'll sue for breach of contract." Her ultimatum hung heavy, neighbors watching. I stayed silent, my briefcase packed with evidence. Laura pressed on. "Your silence proves your contempt. We'll have authorities investigate your land's legality." Her confidence was ironclad, but I saw a flicker of unease as I rose. That night, I rallied allies. Sarah Nguyen, a property rights lawyer I'd worked with, called Laura's actions textbook abuse of power and environmental crime. An arborist, James Carter, assessed the damage at $85,000, citing protected species. Then a surprise ally emerged, Laura's husband, Tom Bennett. I'd seen him tinkering in his garage, frustration etched on his face. Over coffee, he confessed, "Laura runs the HOA like a dictator. She never told me about your trees." I found out later. He revealed forged signatures and $4,000 in misspent HOA funds for the tree job, handing over records. Another ally, Martha Evans, a 67-year-old retired paralegal, had tracked Laura's abuses for 3 years. "She's gutted our community," Martha said, sharing proof of procedural violations. The tree company, Evergreen Solutions, admitted Laura paid $25,000 with HOA checks, claiming emergency safety without verifying my land status. The night before the next meeting, Sam met me in his driveway. "I should have spoken up when she turned that crowd against you," he admitted. Laura's scared people silent. His support steeled me. At the meeting, Laura arrived with a lawyer and a property management rep, smug and ready. Her presentation polished slides, fake documents, accusations painted me as the villain. "Mr. Caldwell must comply or face lawsuits," she declared. I stood, briefcase in hand, and took the floor. "Let's talk facts," I said, projecting my county survey. "My forest is private, outside HOA control." Laura had no authority. Gasps echoed. I showed James's $85,000 damage report, highlighting protected species violations. Martha's records detailed $4,000 in misused funds. Tom rose, voice trembling. "My wife forged signatures and acted alone. I have proof." The room froze. I reveal my ace. I'm Ethan Caldwell, 20 years as a federal environmental investigator. Laura violated state and federal laws. Then Laura snapped. "Those trees blocked a $60 million resort," she screamed. "I'm an apex consultant. Your land was the last hurdle." Her recorded confession fraud. Conspiracy stunned 50 witnesses. The crowd erupted, neighbors shouting, "You stole from us. You lied about his land." Sam stood. "I saw her bully you against Ethan, knowing he was right." Martha called for a no-confidence vote. 46 hands shot up, ousting Laura 46-4. She shrieked, "You're killing a gold mine? Apex would have made us rich." Her unraveling, recorded by residents, sealed her fate. Justice was swift. Civil courts ordered Laura to pay $60,000 for my damages and $6,000 to the HOA. Criminal charges, conspiracy, fraud, theft followed, tied to her $4,000 monthly Apex payments. The FBI probed Apex, halting the resort and charging executives. Laura's real estate license was revoked. She and Tom divorced, their home sold in shame. Martha became HOA president, enforcing transparency and voting. I restored my forest with the damages, planting native species, fruit trees, and trails. Caldwell's Grove became a community haven with a pond and educational signs, hosting school trips. A year later, at a celebration with 30 families, Martha unveiled a plaque, Caldwell's Grove, where truth triumphed. Pine Hollow flourished, neighbors united, property values soaring. My forest, once a battlefield, stood as proof that courage and evidence can topple even the mightiest bullies. What do you think? Was Ethan too harsh in exposing Laura publicly, or was her downfall justified? Should he have compromised to keep the peace, or was fighting for his rights the only way? How far would you go to protect your own land? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories that spark debate.